Alright, the background music is now the background music, and we are going to get started again. My name is Justin. This channel is Medical Asset. Feel free to follow and even follow along on HackerRank.com, where you can work on these challenges in multiple languages. There are, let's see, as we scroll up, we're working in C++ just because, but uh-oh, getting crazy. Okay, so we got C, C++, C++14, C Sharp, Go, Java, JavaScript, Python, Ruby, Scala, Swift, and VB.NET. We'll stick with C++ because that's the language I want to learn. So this is part of the learning process. Okay, so what we have got going on here is we got stuck because white spaces were doing us dirty. Alright, so the goal is to get output that looks like this right here. Alright, and the input that they automatically put in for you is right here. Where we are getting stuck is. Alright, so what I did a little bit of research on my lunch break and found out that, of course, when you're trying to get a line in C++, if it has a white space, it just stops. It just quits. And so what we've done here is created an if statement. And in this if statement, when the input hits a white space, it adds it to it. It adds it to the comment, and then it goes in again, and it'll get the next word, and then it'll kick out, get the white space. Like, it just continues to get the white space and also the characters, so it all comes together. The thing is, if I had been a smart person, in the tutorial portion, it tells you exactly how to do it. So that is what we should have done. We should have paid attention. We missed it. Not a big deal. And I went ahead and went to the C++.com reference for the standard WS function. Alright, this is a function of the input stream, which we labeled in the includes, which is the IO stream, whatever, it's input output stream. So anyways, enough jargon. So basically, this WS eliminates I want to say, it keeps the string going until you get to an end line. Now, from what I've been reading, generally no WS is automatic. So the skip WS flag is set by default in basic iStream, okay, which is not what we were using. So yeah, it was just not working out for us. So moving on, to get the white space, we had to create an if statement that sucks the white space up into the variable. And white space, in case you don't know, is the blank space, like right there that I just highlighted, and that's white space. C++ is not like white space, does not care for white space, and it can limit what you do if you don't know the proper terminology. And so when you're doing a getLine or CN, if you have white space and you don't include this comment, it will stop after the first word. It'll just stop collecting. Alright, and then I checked to make sure that this does work. It does test out against the test 0. So we're going to submit the code and see if it runs out well against the hidden test. Alright, so we're queued now, we're waiting, and boom, we just got another 30 points. Learned something new today, for sure. I've never really had to run into an input issue. Well, I've never run into an input issue like that in C++, but I am also fairly new to the language, So that might be why I've never run into it. So on to the next challenge. So this is day 2 operators. All right, so we're gonna read through the task first, and then we'll go to the tutorial and see what the tutorial says. That way we don't miss anything like we did last time. So the task is given the meal price, which means they're gonna give it to us, the tip percentage, and the tax percentage. Find and print the meal's total cost. Be sure to use precise values for your calculations, or you may end up with an incorrectly rounded result. Alright, so 3 lines of input, meal cost, tip percent, tax percent, which should be similar to the last one, where we just have to initialize, well, declare the variable, and then initialize the variable. And they'll automatically put it in for us because they're cool like that. It's cool like that. Alright, so you want to print the total meal cost is total cost dollars, where total cost is the rounded integer result of the entire bill, meal cost with added tax and tip. Alright, so sample input, this is what they're going to give us. The output will at the end be rounded. At the end. So meal cost is 12, tip percent is 20, tax percent is 8. Calculations, 12 times 20 over 100 equals 2.4. Tax, 12 times 8 over 100 equals 0.96. Total cost of the meal is meal cost plus tip plus tax. So 12 plus 2.4 plus 0.96, which will equal 15.36. Total, round total cost becomes 15 because it rounds down, right? Easy peasy. Lemon and squeezy. Oh, that's nifty. Okay. This one is all on your own with none of that fancy stuff from the last 2 days. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to go to the tutorial. This is definitely worth going to. And this is going to be another video by Blondie Bites, I believe, is who created this video. It's probably going to be like a 20-minute video, so if you're on YouTube watching this later, it will be split into 2 videos. I tried to fix the music so that it wouldn't take out audio, because I think I screwed that up earlier today, but whatever.
Welcome back. We are on day 2 now, and I'm glad I didn't scare you away yesterday with all of the code and everything, but now we're going to code even more. The first thing we're going to do is open NetBeans, and last time we talked about cars. We made a car class, we made a car blueprint. What does a car have? What defines a car? Stuff like that. In our class, as it loads up here,
seems kind of loud
we had properties. We had these fields that said, okay, we have a max speed, a min speed, a weight.
I think that's probably going to be decent.
This is what we can say about a car. And we also had methods down here to either display these properties or to even change them. And so we're going to start off today by creating a couple more properties. And so we'll add some space in here to kind of
again, she's using Java.
Min, speed, and weight.
So
add a space between weight and is the car on, and then another couple spaces here after.
She doesn't expect any of us to know exactly what she's doing.
And so the first thing we're going to add is a double, and this will be a max fuel, and then we'll say equals, which again will assign a value to this property. And so the max fuel, the max number of gallons that an average car has is 16, so we'll put a value in there, 16. And when we wrote out the statement, basically we declared the fact there's going to be a property called max fuel. We allocated space within the computer memory saying, okay, make space for this double, and then we gave it a value, we initialized it. And so those are 3 big steps in creating variables. And so we're going to do all that again in another instance variable that we are going to create. And we're going to say double current fuel. And if I just put a semicolon here, we are only declaring the fact there's going to be a property called current fuel and
Okay, so
allocating
that's,
space for this double.
That's
But we
considered
aren't giving
not
it a value.
initializing.
Well, obviously we're not
but
giving it a
declaring
value
it.
because there's no number associated with
So-
this current fuel. It's not initialized. And we can initialize it just by doing equals, and then we'll say every car starts off with a half a tank, so 8. And you might be wondering why I made these doubles, and that's because 16 and 8 are going to be in gallons, and there is going to be a point where you're between 8 and 9, or you're between 7 and 6 gallons of gas, and you need kind of a middle ground here. At some point you might have 8.5 gallons, or whatever it may be, and so by making this a double, we allow the fact that the current fuel could at some point be a decimal value. But right now they're whole values because those are nice to work with. And we will add another instance variable here called double, MPG, again, miles per gallon. And the average miles per gallon for a car is 20.